Hi bowl bakers! A big part of Christmas tradition in Ireland is to decorate a Christmas cake. I'm going to show you how you can take my fruitcake and transform it into a Christmas centerpiece. What you need for this video is my Auntie Rosaline's fruitcake, my homemade marzipan, how to make royal icing, and my marshmallow fondant. Now, as always, all of these recipes can be found on biggerbolderbaking.com. Okay, let's start out with our fondant. So here I have my marshmallow fondant, super easy to make. All you need is a bag of marshmallows and powdered sugar. Now I'm going to roll this out to around 1/8 of an inch thick. This is going to be the decorations for the top of our cake. It's important to roll fondant on powdered sugar because it makes it so much easier to roll out. Okay, good, this is the thickness that I want. So here I have some star cutters. I've got them all different sizes. I'm just going to cut out a few stars to put on top of my cake. I like to do them different sizes so you kind of get a 3D effect. You're going to see what I'm doing in a minute. It's all going to make sense. Okay, so I have enough stars to decorate the top of my cake. Any bit of leftover fondant you can roll back up, wrap it in cling wrap and use it another time. So now what I'm going to do is bedazzle these stars. So here I have a little bit of water and a brush. I use this brush in the kitchen for pastry and things like that. And I'm just going to dampen one of the stars all over the top. This is going to stick our decoration to it. So here I have something really beautiful, this edible gold. You can get this online. I'm going to put a link on my website. It's not that expensive and it's just really beautiful. And what we're going to do is just cover our star with the gold. Make sure you cover all the surface so it really stands out. And then just continue doing this with as many stars as you want to put on top of your cake. So a little bit of water and a little bit of gold. Once the water dries, the gold will stick on there and they'll be good to go. So those are our stars, they're lovely and twinkly. Now what I like to do is leave them out at room temperature to dry a little bit for a minimum of 5 hours, but preferably overnight, and it'll just make them much easier to stack later on. So let's get into the decorating of the actual cake. Here I have my Auntie Rosaline's Christmas cake. This recipe is on my website and it is a huge fan favorite. My auntie has been making this for years and it came straight from Ireland, so you know that it's good. So here I have some apricot jam that's been heated up. This is really important because what we're going to do is brush the cake all over with this apricot jam, and this is what the marzipan layer is going to stick to. Now we use apricot because it doesn't really have a color and it's very mild in flavor, so you don't have to use it, but it's best that you use something that is similar, doesn't have a whole lot of color and the flavor doesn't overpower the cake. So just brush this all over. So fun fact, in Ireland you actually make your Christmas cakes in around October, maybe even September, because you want them to sit, let all the flavors marinate and the cake will just get even better. And don't worry, it will not go bad. It is loaded with fruit, a little bit of alcohol, some sugar, and it stays perfectly preserved. So there's the top and the sides. This is lovely. Now I'm going to set this over to one side and we're going to roll out our marzipan. So you want to roll this out around the same thickness as the fondant, 1/4 of an inch to 1/8 of an inch. So to move my marzipan, you can either roll it over your rolling pin. What I like to do is use a plastic chopping board and just get it right underneath there. Then I can lift it up and gently slide it onto the top of my cake. So once your marzipan is on there, use your hands to mold it into the shape of the cake, pushing it all the way around and on the top. You might want to take a little knife and cut away any excess. We just want to bring the marzipan all the way to the bottom of the cake. So now not only is it tradition to add marzipan to a cake, but it also keeps your cake really moist for the time that you have it over the holidays. Okay, lovely. If you have any little cracks or anything like that, just push them together, cover them up. And if there's any little holes, you can just shove in a little piece of excess marzipan. But don't worry if you think your cake doesn't look perfect because we're going to be covering all of this in royal icing. So the next thing we need to decorate our cake is royal icing. Now this is on my website. This is for decorating cakes and not for decorating cookies because that one's a lot thinner and we want this nice and thick so we can plaster it onto our cake. So what I love about this is that it's really rustic. Just plop it onto your cake, smear it around with your spatula, and what we're kind of going to end up with is something that's going to dry and look like snow. So you do not have to get this smooth, it can be rough and ready. So I've got my cake on a cake stand and I'm just moving it around as I'm frosting, but if you don't have one, don't worry about it. These do, however, make your life easier, so you might want to put it on your Christmas list. So if you're wondering when is a good time to decorate your Christmas cakes, do it the week before Christmas. Then you have them out of the way, they're ready to go, and they're still going to look beautiful throughout the holidays. So this is looking good. I smooth out the sides a little bit and left the top a little bit more rustic, because next we're going to put on our stars. So here I have my stars, they're nice and dried out. And what I'm going to do is pretty much just kind of stack them on top of the cake, leaning up against each other. So you kind of have a pyramid of stars. And they're going to dry in the royal icing, so that will hold them up also. You want to make sure that you lean them against each other so that they hold up. Also, when the icing dries, it'll keep them in place. So I've admitted multiple times on Bigger Bolder Baking that I'm not the world's best cake decorator, but I have to say this looks really festive and it was super easy to do. Now what I'm going to do is just set it over to the side and at room temperature let the icing dry. So there you have it, a beautiful cake that is ready to rock and roll this holiday season. For all the recipes in this video and for my holiday baking headquarters, head over to my website. And I'll see you back here really soon for more Bigger, Bolder Baking.